is a tremendous resource. It's part of America's balance sheet. When we let it burn, then we actually have to spend money coming through FEMA and other places. So we spend taxpayer dollars cleaning up a mess that could have been prevented. Under President Trump, when we get back into the timber,
talked about this a few weeks ago with the big beautiful bill, with Trump's big beautiful bill, and the easing of the silencers that's added into that. That Smith and Wesson and Ruger could probably catch a bid. Checking out Ruger's up to almost 3% on the day, but Ruger is actually headed towards its gap fill area. RGR.
Help on the balance ports for foreign countries and have American jobs. But to make that all happen, again, under President Trump's leadership, we have to get back in the timber business and get back in the game. And when we do that, we have to make sure that we're doing prevention, not just fighting fires after they all get out of control. And so again, working with OMB and others to make sure that we've got the budget for doing the prevention work and the forest management upfront reduces the expense and the cost on the back end of fighting these massive fires. But again, coordinating across all of our 5 different major firefighting groups today, it's like having 5 generals in the field. They may have different strategies and different tactics. They even have different pay levels. Brooke and I are working to make sure that regardless of which service and branch that you're in, that you're going to have a similar pay, that we're going to have everybody equipped with the right technology to protect them when they're out in the field. Just basic stuff that they don't have today that we were giving our military 20 years ago in terms of, and then using technology to be able to identify fires when they first start. I mean, with infrared, satellite, drones, I mean, there's technology where we can pick out a fire when it just barely begins and it costs us nothing to put it out, versus when it scales up and becomes these massive fires that endanger communities, lives, and our firefighters. So President Trump, of course, has got a common sense strategy. He's empowering all of the leadership that's standing up here today for us to go get this job done. It's going to get America back in the timber business. We're going to put out fires when they're small and as opposed to when they can't.
Generac, 130 call for September 19th, up 21%. Generac, 140 call for September 19th, up 28%.
After the fact, when we're cleaning up a mess. So the whole thing makes complete sense. And Brooke and I and Christy and Russ, we're all excited to go out and implement the President's vision.
And we have some of the best timber anywhere in the world, and we don't use it. We freed it up, Lee Zeldin.
Boom, Disney hit my level, 120. There you go.
Some environmental restrictions that are ridiculous, and a lot of it's been freed up. The rest of it's being freed up. Some areas will continue to protect, but we're going to be freeing up most of it. And again, we have some of the best in the world. And when I hear you say that we lost more in fires than we produced, it's so crazy, because we shouldn't lose very much at all. I mean, I could say we shouldn't lose any if it was perfect, but it should not be ever like what we've seen. We're sending billions of dollars to California all the time because obviously in California they are not doing a good job in any way, shape, or form, any other thing either. So with that, I'm heading to Fort Bragg right now. I think the helicopter's landing as we speak. But if you want, we'll take a few questions.
Mr. President, what do you think about the Insurrection Act to deal with the situation in California?
If there's an insurrection, I would certainly invoke it. We'll see. But I can tell you, last night was terrible. The night before that was terrible. We have, as you've seen, it was on most of your networks, people with big, heavy hammers pounding the concrete and pounding curbs, pounding and breaking up and handing these big chunks of concrete to people. And they were taking that concrete, going up on bridges and dropping it into the roof of a car. They were throwing it at our police. They were throwing it at our soldiers that are there. And we got it stopped, and we have them in custody right now. Look, if we didn't get involved, right now, Los Angeles would be burning, just like it was burning a number of months ago with all the houses that were lost. Los Angeles right now would be on fire, and we have it in great shape. We're not playing around.
How will you determine whether or not there is an insurrection?
Well, you take a look at what's happening. I mean, I could tell you there were certain areas of Los Angeles that you could have called it an insurrection. It was terrible. But these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers. They get money. And when you take a look at what they do, where they show up and everyone's saying, what's he doing? He's pounding the curbs. This one guy's pounding the curb, breaking the curb, and handing take big pieces of granite, in some cases it's granite and concrete to other
Granite
people.
curves?
And they're running out with it, and then we watch the other people, and they try and throw it into the face of the soldiers, throw it into the face of the police, and they hurt some people very badly. They go up on bridges, they drop it down on the cars as the cars are moving. They're not breaking the curb because they're doing a demolition service. They're breaking it to hand out to people as a weapon. It's bad stuff. I've never seen that before.
Mr. President, how soon do you want to see FEMA eliminated? And what's your message to the governors about how much more in expense is going to fall to states?
Yeah, well, it's not going to be so much to states. We're going to give out less money. We're going to give it out directly. It'll be from the president's office. We'll have somebody here. Could be Homeland Security, but we're going to give it out through a method where it's given out. As an example, I just gave out $71 million to a certain state. They were looking to do about 120. They were very happy with the 71 million. We did a little cutting, and they were very happy with it. So we're going to do it much differently. We think after this, Christy, I'd say after the hurricane season, we'll
Yes,
start
sir. You
facing
set up a FEMA council over the next couple of months. We'll be working on reforms and what FEMA will look like in the future as a different agency, as under the Department of Homeland Security to the president's vision. And it will empower governors to go out and respond to emergency situations. And that what the president does best is to make sure that the taxpayers are only fulfilling the need to which is appropriate, and that people are responsible to respond to their own people closest to home. So
if a certain state, as an example, gets hit by a hurricane or tornado, that's what a governor, a governor should be able to handle it. And frankly, if they can't handle it, the aftermath, then maybe they shouldn't be governor.
And Mr. President, when is the last time you spoke with Governor Newsom?
A day ago. Called him up to tell him, got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job. He's causing a lot of death and a lot of potential death. If we didn't send out the National Guard, and last night we gave him a little additional help, you would have, Los Angeles would be burning right now. Los Angeles would be not a lot different than what you saw take place in California and Los Angeles just a little while ago. And, you got to remember, we have the Olympics coming. And we don't want people looking at Los Angeles like it would have been. It would have been bad. Last night they had total control. If we didn't have the military in there, the National Guard, and then we also sent in some Marines. We had some bad people. We have people, they look in your face and they spit right in your face. They're animals. And these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers. They're agitators. They're paid. Do you think somebody walks up to a curb and starts hammering pieces out, has all the equipment necessary, and starts handing it out to people to use as a weapon? These are paid insurrectionists or agitators or troublemakers. You can call it whatever you want. And we ended it, and we have in custody some very bad people. Some very bad people.
Mr. President.
Did you see the guy throwing the rocks at the police cars as they went by and crushing their windows and endangering our police? We're not going to let that happen, yeah.
Pardon me, Mr. President, on those Marines, Governor Newsom has described them as political pawns. I'm curious for your reaction to that and what you see as the Marines' role and what are their rules of engagement?
All I want is safety. I just want a safe area. Los Angeles was under siege until we got there. The police were unable to handle it. You can speak to the chief. He said it on television 3 nights ago. He said, this is more than we can handle. They said that. And the LA police, I know a lot of the police in LA, they're great people, but they're given instructions not to do this, not to do that. But in this case, they were trying their best. They were not able to handle it. It was out of control. When we got there, and you have to remember, I've been here before, and I went right by every rule, and I waited for governors to say, send in the National Guard. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it, and they just wouldn't do it. It kept going on and on, got worse and worse. And in Minneapolis, that city was burning down. It was 7 days, and I said, I don't care. The governor, who's a governor that just happened to be running for vice president, a total, you talk about an incompetent governor, he's an incompetent person. That he was picked. Well, I was actually very happy he was picked for other reasons. But this guy wouldn't call the National Guard. And we ultimately just sent in the National Guard. We stopped it. but that was after.
Out of Disney, 120 calls for 815, up 103%. I'm gonna hold the 2027 120 calls. I'm up 27% on those, but I'm out of the 120 for 815.
And they don't want to call them in. They don't want to save lives. They don't want to save property. They don't want to call them in. I don't know what it is. We sent them in, not early, we sent them in late as far as I'm concerned. But big problems, as you know, 3 nights ago, big problems were ensuing. If we didn't send in the National Guard quickly, right now, Los Angeles would be burning to the ground.
The Marines is, a lot of people think, an escalatory step, though. These are guys who fight wars. Are you at all concerned that things could get out of hand with Marines?
When I see people...
Last couple press conferences, it's only been the White House press pool asking questions.
I saw on your network doing...
Wait, say that again, BB?
That's the guy keeps asking questions. He's the White House press pool. They're not
Yeah.
letting the general press.
Yep.
When you have 2,000 people from this National Guard standpoint, we have a very big military. But the National Guard, they needed a little extra help. And we sent them a little, and we did a great job last night. We had a lot of cars go up in smoke and flame, and had a lot of bad scenes, but it was pretty minor by comparison. This morning it's very calm. We'll see what happens later. But they know if they go there, they're not going to get anywhere because we have the National Guard. We backed it up with a number of Marines, yeah.
Mr. President, do you agree with Governor Abbott soon signing legislation to mandate the 10 Commandments in school classrooms?
Having to do with what?
The Governor Abbott is soon going to sign legislation to mandate displays of the 10 Commandments in school classrooms. Do you support him?
I have to take a look at it. I'm going to have to look at it.
Will the National Guard be in California indefinitely? How long will they be there until you think?
Until there's no danger. It's easy. Look, it's common sense. You ask me that question. When there's no danger, they'll leave. You would have had a horrible situation had I not sent them in. Horrible. You'd be reporting on a lot of death and a lot of destruction that's not going to take place. I think if you look, every night it got less and less. They were met with very strong force, the bad people, the bad, sick people that do what they do. But these are paid people in many cases, not in all cases.
Locking in profit on my ouster, $20 calls for August, up 100%.
Let's go. Good job, bro.
Response to Mexican President Sheinbaum, who condemned the violence there. Have you been in touch with her at all?
Said what?
I was wondering if you had any response to what Mexican President Claudine Sheinbaum said in response. She condemned the violence in LA.
I was just ripping right now.
In touch with her at all?
Oh, you think I don't condemn it? I condemn the violence in LA, ladies and gentlemen. But I also stopped the violence in LA. And by doing what I did,
Only thing is, look at the RSI. The RSI on the daily and the weekly. It's on the daily, it's way overbought, and then on the weekly, it's just entered the overbought territory. So that's why I took profit. Expect to pull back. I mean, that's still strong.
So in 2020, I was a governor of a neighboring state to Tim Walz and watched him let his city burn. And the president and I have talked about this in the past, and he was not going to let that happen to another city and to another community where a bad governor made a bad decision. So Claudia Sheinbaum came out and encouraged more protests in LA, and I condemn her for that. She should not be encouraging violent protests that are going on. If people are allowed to peacefully protest, but the violence that we're seeing is not acceptable, and it's not going to happen in America. This president is standing up for the average American who wants to walk their child to school every day safely, run their small business, and provide for their families. That's the action that he's taking. He has every authority in the Constitution to send the National Guard under Title 10 into these communities and make sure that operations go smoothly, that law enforcement officers are protected, that they can continue to do their work without fear of being injured or killed or disrespected, and that they can go home to their families at night.
Yeah, all of this news got Smith & Wesson and Rupert pumping. So Smith & Wesson just closed the daily gap and is approaching another gap fill area once it clears 11:15.
Never elect him into a leadership position ever again. He
the
clearly
governor's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. When it comes to his railroad that he's building, where it's like 30 times over budget, nobody's ever seen anything like it. Now it doesn't even go to San Francisco and LA. It's way short of it. After years of work and overruns like nobody's. Those contractors are some of the wealthiest people in the world. I guarantee you that, because that money goes to those contractors. They just did a number on the wallet of the people of California. That train, you should look at that train. That is the greatest. I've never seen cost overruns. I've seen cost overruns and great incompetence over my life. I've never seen anything like that.
Mr. President, these protests obviously started in reaction to these large-scale ICE operations in Los Angeles. Should people expect to see similar operations in the rest of the country?
Yeah.
And will similar protests see similar response?
As you know, we're moving murderers out of our country that were put here by Biden or the auto pen. The auto pen really did it. I mean, the people, whether it's Lisa Monaco or whoever operated the auto pen, these are criminals. People are criminals that allowed these criminals into our country. And I don't think that Biden knew what the hell he was doing. I don't think he even knew about it. But when they opened up our borders for the whole world to come in, yeah, we're going to get them out. We're getting them out. We're starting to get acknowledgement from the courts that, you know, as a system. They come in without courts and they go out there after they want trials and everything else. I think that's starting to work out now. Judges are starting to see what a terrible situation it is. Many of those people that you saw on television last night are criminals that were allowed into our country by Biden. And they want to stay, and we don't want them. And they come from jails, and they come from mental institutions, and they come from all over the world, not just South America. And we're not going to let them stay. And this is the first, perhaps, of many, or perhaps, you know, if we didn't attack this one very strongly, you'd have them all over the country. But I can inform the rest of the country that when they do it, if they do it, they're going to be met with equal or greater force than we met right here. We did a great job. The people, you, Christy, and Tom Holman, and all of the people, Pete Hexa, all of the people involved did an amazing job. We stopped a disaster. And it looks like a planned disaster, not just, this didn't just happen. They had weapons, they had tools, they had everything you needed. I mean, they were throwing iced water in bottles, in glass bottles at officers and at soldiers. These are, you could not use the word insurrection, but you could also use the word, these are
Did you
very
say ice water?
bad people.
Yeah, ice
They
water,
were met
he
with
said.
heavy force. They may be there a little bit
The
today.
militia.
But it seems to be getting less and less because they're going there and they're met with a very heavy force. And if they weren't, you would have that city right now would be on fire. It would be burning down. The rest
Maybe
of
that's why
it
they're throwing ice water.
Yep.
because the other
Ice
fire
water.
was
Throw
started
ice
because
water
they
on
wouldn't
these
allow
people.
water into LA. They wouldn't allow water into California because they had it all shifted out to the Pacific
Holy
Ocean.
fuck, you
And I
can go
turned
on a
this
rant.
and I told them to do it in my first term, and they didn't do it. We had COVID.
Is there any
And they
useful information coming out of
I
this?
told them to do it. We did it in the second. Now we have billions of gallons of water
Not yet.
flowing
He's
down.
just blabbering.
Newsom should have done this. He's an incompetent man and an incompetent government. Okay, any other questions?
President, any message to adversaries as the Army kicks off 250-year birthday celebration?
I just think.
Yeah, either it's gonna be a massive gap up or gap.
Well, to me, that's bad news because they've already had the talks. They had a deal in place. Now they had to iron things out, but now they're into some technical details.
Yeah, so futures are gonna be lit.
Also, there was news that they may sign the contract. I mean, the agreement with India in September, October.
September, October. They've been keeping a pretty tight grip on Trump lately at the press events. I find he's been fed more and more questions that he just rants on.
Yeah, he just rambles on about nothing. Ice water.
Yeah. Well, I think his press team is kind of figuring out how to handle him.
You can't believe he said ice water.
even
What, like in his
forest
veins or
fires.
something? Is this what he was talking? Was that what he was referring to?
No, he's saying that they're throwing ice water at the cops. He's like, these are terrible people. They're
They're
insurrectionists.
throwing
They're
ice
throwing
water.
bottles with ice in them.
Don't forget, we got to get out there and sweep our forests.
This is
Yeah,
amazing.
even the forest thing. Like, how do you make forest fires political?
Unbelievable, bro. What a time to be alive.
To be fair, the forestry has been mismanaged for decades, but you know, the native peoples knew how to manage the forests, and then, you know, in the last century they said no fires, so they suppressed all the fires, and that's why everything is now ready to burn.
Yep. Yeah, it's just bad science. Like, they thought that was the best way, but they weren't aware.
Hey guys, look at the KO chart, the 1 hour on KO, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it looks like it's about to break out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. SPY went to 602, huh? Interesting.
Oh, did they open options on Circle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that might be a nice short. It's down 6% today. What? People have, there's positioning at 170 on Circle.
What?
When's the expiration for those? Oh my God. People think it's going to get to 170 by June 20th. I mean, maybe. Not me, but maybe.
Nova Nordisk, NVO is up almost 6.5% today.
Yeah, even Lily's looking really good. It's on my on the daily. It's broken through one of my fib levels, and it's going to go test its 200 moving day soon.
Yeah, XBI is up 1.4%. Yeah, XLB is also up. So.
And they've been beat down for a long time, so
Exactly.
Chubb, what are we gonna do with you, Chubb? BB, look at Chubb's 1 hour chart. CB.
Yeah, I was looking at while he was talking about all the fires and.
Yeah. This 1 hour chart looks like it's setting up for a W.
OUSD is trying to break out. Is up 10% today.
Which one?
OUSD.
Ouster. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
USD.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, if they break 17, I mean, they really can go higher.
Yeah.
Kevin's pointing out that's pretty oversold or overbought.
Overbought, yeah. Well, it's way overbought. It's like over 80 on the daily and like over 70 on the weekly. I mean, of course, the RSI can still continue to just run. Who knows? But here's a ticker that looks very promising. RPAY.
Repay Holdings. It seems like they got their run up off of good earnings.
Oh yeah, wow. The daily and weekly looks good on this. Nice V-shaped recovery on the weekly.
And they have a nice gap right around the 630
Yeah.
on the daily.
And that is breakout on weekly for the falling wedge, you know. So
It's getting
Another
close
good
to.
catch, Kev.
There might be a little bit of a pullback, and then I think it'll rip because it's getting a bit overbought on the daily at least.
The digital payments in the personal loans, automotive loans, receivables management, business to business verticals through direct sales is what I'm reading on it.
Um,
That's exactly what it is. That's what they do for sure.
They might benefit from winding back some of the restrictions that they're talking about, Besant.
PayPal, PYPL. Looks like she's ready on PayPal. I'm gonna go to at least 80 short term. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some call flow for that this morning.
Circle, isn't that the one that's there's some kind of tie to one of the White House advisors?
Yeah, Hassett. He sat on the board. But that was also the one that it just IPO'd not too long ago and it had like huge amount of interest in it. It's a stable coin provider.
Okay, so going back to RPay, so apparently in mid-May, the CEO and president Shaler Alias purchased $1 million worth of shares. Inside ownership is at 12%. They expanded their buyback program. Yeah, analysts are turning positive on it.
Airbnb. I called this one out maybe a couple weeks ago. The 150 calls for June 18th, 2026. They're up 40%. That's a World Cup play for me, so I'm gonna hold these.
I have a hard time understanding what RPay actually does.
I'm having a hard time understanding how they actually make money. Their quarterly reports are terrible. Over the last 5 quarters, they've only made a profit once, and it was 3 cents a share.
They did an integration, a strategic integration with Worth, WORTH, a platform focused on optimizing customer payments. So seems they are focusing on recurring bills and flexible payment experiences. But I don't know this Worth.
I'm trying to read what they actually do for the payment processing, and it's not clear.
Okay, what they do is they provide software and infrastructure that allows businesses. What they do is they allow businesses to accept cards and digital wallets and ACH payments, make automated payments to vendors, customers, handle recurring billing payments and payment plans, and they mostly focus on auto loans, personal loans, healthcare payments, and business-to-business payments.
Yeah. I mean, I know a little bit of like the payment industry, so I'm just trying to understand like what it means to me in terms of like real tangible goods.
So, like loans isn't
Yeah,
tangible
that's
goods to
kind of
you.
that's why I think that they're just basically like a middleman for the loans side of things. They must just skim off the top.
And when you say skim off the top, you're talking about charging fees on the
Yeah,
transactions
exactly.
plus the subscription and service fees for the software.
Exactly.
Like that's how they make their money.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to understand is like, was it just service? Was it POS that they're offering? But no, they seem to just kind of facilitate the transaction. Never heard of them.
Yeah, they facilitate the transaction and they get paid by the fees and then the subscription services.
Instant funding. So yeah, they're more of like a credit house.
SPY back over 602.
Hold on, what'd you say?
SPY
Oh, okay.
over 602, 602.20 right now. Uber is looking pretty constructive here.
Okay, so BB, here's a pretty good example of like how they get their money. It says, let's say a car loan company uses RPay to collect monthly payments from borrowers. RPay processes the payments. The loan company pays RPay a small percentage of each transaction, and then RPay may also charge a monthly fee to manage the recurring payments and the reporting.
Yeah. No, it's like I get their type of business, but I'm trying to just understand like because I use companies like this where I work, so I'm just trying to understand like how they operate compared to other ones I'm more familiar with.
Like, what are you more familiar with, like Bill.com or Square or Toast
No,
or something?
we use I can't remember the name of the company that we use, but there's like I'm trying to see if they're like a Klarna or a Sizzle or they're more into like a more of a niche segment. But I forget who we use for ours on our side of things. The chart looks good, but I don't. I'm lukewarm on the business.
Well, then don't put it in your long-term portfolio till you can get better color. But this is just a trade right now.
Yeah. No, for sure. If you knowing those like rich snippets for Google when you search a company, the first question is: Are Pay a legitimate company? It's BBB accredited. I don't know what BBB means. Better Business Bureau. Okay, so they are owned by Hawk Parent Holding, LCC.
It's funny because I look across Twitter, and now I'm seeing all like the big pages or timelines talk about Ouster called out in our Discord up 100,000%. Ouster this. If you were in our service, you'd have if you'd have took the Ouster play, you'd be up 12,000% or whatever.
That's so
Fucking
funny.
talking about Ouster for months.
Yep,
I've been talking about Ouster for a little over a month now. Like free.
that's so funny. For free.
All you had to do is listen to my bullshit.
To some it's bullshit, to many it's gold, bro.
Big Kev, what is your Discord? Let us know.
What is your Discord? He said. Yeah, my rule is I'm not gonna sell you guys anything. You guys don't sell me anything. It's simple. Win-win for everybody.
So I bought the $11 calls. I bought the $11 calls on May the 22nd.
Oh, OpenAI to rent chips from Google Cloud despite of AI rivalry.
Hmm. Played Google this morning, and before that news even came out, I was wondering what the hell. Why were these calls so cheap? It was a good play to start the day. That was Google 200s. So, do you guys see any cuts this year by J Powell?
At this point, no.
Yeah.
If anything, they'll fuck around and raise the rates.
Yeah, I had one for around September, but I don't know now. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, well, they're in a bad spot, right? Like, because they have the dual mandate, keep inflation low, but keep employment high. You can't really have
Tomorrow and
both.
Thursday, CPI, PPI. We'll know a lot more after that.
30-year bond sale tomorrow as well,
10-year
or
tomorrow,
auction.
30-year is Thursday.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Today's only Tuesday. I thought we were Wednesday.
But still, we got a 10-year and a 30-year back to back.
Let's go.
Is anyone still in this ticker LVWR? Live wire.
No,
They
I'm
are
not.
up 30. Yeah, they're up 34%.
Recreational products. What the hell does
I
that mean?
think someone brought it up in the space. I don't know who was that. Butters or
Electric motorcycles.
yeah, exactly. E-bikes.
Oh, iRobot's dumping, it seems.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't call this a dump.
Brent.
I wouldn't call this a dump. I'm calling this a retest of the 5 on the daily. retest of certain levels. Just a pullback, in my opinion.
So this Livewire, I've never heard of them, and this is my bread and butter. They seem Canadian. Man, these are some ugly bikes.
Yeah, the Zoomer aesthetic. Let me look at them.
Yes, can I order 2 tacos and a bottle of water, please?
Yeah, these bikes look like they have like rib cages. That's weird.
They're super weird.
Look like the Alien movie. Look kind of
Rib
like that.
cages?
Yeah, look at these Livewire bikes. I mean, they're probably cool bikes, probably fast and good acceleration, etc.
Pretty expensive though.
Yeah.
I
Um,
grabbed I grabbed serve $12 puts for Friday and $10 puts for next Friday.
I was listening to you guys this morning. I got on the Aklo puts. I had some McDonald's puts. Still holding my Oster calls. Still have my QBTS puts. Those are actually doing okay today. I'm kind
uh,
of bucking the trend on the QBTS puts, but so be it.
I'm
Yeah, I don't
down
know how you bucking the
100%.
trend. Who's in calls on those?
Well, just like before the pullback today, there were, I mean, I don't know. Like I was looking at a lot of people were bullish, like Rigetti, INQ, some people QBT, like the whole space pretty
Man, that
much.
whole Rigetti, that man, I've been trying. I looked every time I think of quantum, I look at Rigetti first, and that chart just looked bearish. It just hasn't looked bullish the last few days. I've been looking at it.
Big
Yeah.
Kev, look at Generac daily chart right now.
Dude, I had ChatGPT analyze Rigetti, IonQ, and QBTS, and it basically kind of shat all over Rigetti. Says weak and declining growth, high risk.
Hmm.
Price to sales 160. But whatever. I mean, it's just a momentum play.
Yeah, that daily chart looks like it's in beast mode. That weekly chart looks even better.
Yeah.
I guess OpenAI just released I03 Pro today.
Look at Micron and tell me Micron doesn't look bullish.
Bro, that thing is Micron is golded. Look at this thing on a weekly
Yeah, that
chart.
broke through
Yep.
the trend line on the 4th. I don't know why I didn't jump in on that.
Mm-hmm. That's what Micron calls.
There is a small ticker, DATS. It's 40 million market cap. Last time they ran from 2 to 10. They are now breakout. I see now 343, 20% today, 18%, 20% today. I think if they move, they can, they can visit 6 and then maybe 10. Just put in your watch list.
Best 360. Which one am I putting on my watch list again?
DATS. I will put in the well, let's go. DATS dot chat.
Check out IoT. It bounced off of its fib level on the daily.
I just got an alert for Intel. Look at Intel, guys. INTC. Intel. This thing. Oh my gosh.
Well, isn't there the Cisco event coming up?
I don't even know. But this chart
Yeah,
is.
whoever this V PFP is, and the Bougie Cat or whatever is the handle down in this in the listener section. Posted a chart for Intel not that long ago. If you care to look.
Maybe you said that IoT.
Yeah.
I posted a flow for IoT is like 1 million.
Yeah, that's it. Popped up in my screener. It looks at
Yeah,
low
it's a
flow.
diagonal put a spread. So
Yeah, Quantum's getting a bid today. So maybe there's some news coming up around. Okay, Cisco Live is happening right now until the 12th.
Real quick, for the people posting stuff in the purple pill, I appreciate you guys sharing all of that stuff, especially the charts. So thanks for that. Appreciate that.
KO pumping, KSS pumping.
Yeah, guys. KO, Coca-Cola. Working out. That's another World Cup play, by the way. KO, Airbnb, DAL. Which other one was there? Uh,
Don't forget about ticker TNGX. Had its pullback. I think it's ready to blast off.
mm-hmm.
I am still in that one.
This one could go to at least 7 from here. Over that, that's $12.
I mean, the market just doesn't want to go down.
Oh, SPY 602.55. Okay,
Yeah.
SPY.
Market just slowly trended higher.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's in breakout mode. Like we're over the high of yesterday and the high of what was that, Wednesday or Thursday? The high of Thursday. QQQ. Yeah, so QQQ looks like it wants to test the overnight high at 534 mid.
So this resistance up here on SPY at 602.67 is pretty strong. Actually, 602.70. If we break over that, we could run to 605.74, which is December NFP low.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The only position I see is at 605.
Yeah.
A little bit at 603, but it's mostly at 605, and they're adding to it.
Yep. That'd be a hell of a move if that happened today. Oh. Neo silently having a okay day. Almost up 4% today, Neo. I am in this one since earnings, but I'm in the $5 call for January 2026.
Just grab me a few QQQ 534s, zeros. See if we can go take out that overnight high.
I'm looking at
534
jump in.
zeros.
SPY 605s for tomorrow.
Let's go. Yeah, that's a good play. But I'm already in SPY 620s and 625 calls, so I'm gonna just let those rock for August 15th.
So the BBG is reporting that U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is seen as the next contender for Fed chair.
All right. feel like that would be bad news. I see the headline, people say, but who's the people? Just rumor? Not people familiar with the matter.
All right, Tesla looks like she's gonna try again. Push to the upside. My level is 322.62 on Tesla.
I'm surprised D-Wave is dumping while quantum computing is ripping.
BB, did you check the nuclear ones? Also, they also crushed.
Yeah, they're all. What's going on with my chart?
Go ahead, BK, sorry.
Oh, never mind. Quantum is faded.
Yeah, I was gonna say quantum isn't exactly ripping. That'll spike it open, but
Yeah, it's giving it all back.
gotta find the next hot narrative.
Yeah, that was gonna say the rotation is over for them for now.
Drones having a bit of a pullback today. Not too bad though.
Right now, it seems like the what is it? Pharmaceuticals and drilling are still doing pretty good.
Tesla back over 319.
Home builders having a great day, by the way. BLDR up 4.3%. Now at 118. DHI up over 3.3%. 126.7.
Georgie, this BLDR is breakout, yeah, from the downtrend.
Oh, that 50, I don't know if you remember, I called a 52-week low. I guess that was the low.
Yeah, probably. it was a
I
double
should have
bottom,
heeded
you
my
know?
own words. I didn't buy it.
Yeah, it was a double bottom, yeah, as well.
Tesla trying
I
again,
just
just hit
added to my
320.
meta puts.
Meta, make you better. There goes Tesla over 320.
think if everything goes well with the news events this week, it's a quick shot to all-time highs.
Yeah, easy, easy, easy.
I mean, that's a big if, though.
Yeah,
But by all indications, CPI and PPI should be, I mean, pretty much in line. I don't think there's going to be any surprises.
Nice VWAP projection on Meta.
We are currently 1.99% away from all-time highs on SPY.
that's crazy.
Yep. There's just a big gap in positioning for today between 600 and 605 SPY.
Yeah,
Look at
just
the chart on Vol D on the 10-minute.
oh, let me look at that. I haven't looked at that today at all.
Just looks like waves. Not even waves. I don't know. It's weird. Like claw marks.
10 minute, yeah. It's over that zero line, so technically it's still bullish.
stopped out of my SPY calls. Hey, my rig calls are in the money now. Let's go. I have $5 calls for January. I've been holding these for a long time.
Damn, Tesla looks like a beast. Apple looks like a bum.
Yes, sir. Tesla over about to hit 321. It looks like higher day on Tesla is 321.22.
Long Tesla, short Apple.
Yeah, Tesla's about to complete its W pattern, or to actually form the W. Yeah, lots of puts coming in for quantum sector.
Hey, what's the ticker for Archer again?
I have it on my list.
ACHR.
Okay, thank you.
I sold that Tesla, by the way. I sold it against that 321 resistance.
Good job, Izzy. Good job, man.
Thanks. This the last. It's the last. Actually, shit, it's not the last. Fuck, I forgot another part of that trade. Busy getting on spaces, trying to talk. Yeah, like think about like where it opened yesterday, or like where it went down to. Was that just yesterday? It was 382 or 282, 283, something like that. That was yesterday. But they had like good catalysts. Like somebody found their registration on the Austin City website for self-driving. And then Trump said those things yesterday that seemed to be like seemed to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then today somebody posted a video of the cybercab in action, actually turning a corner in Austin with a passenger but no driver.
Oh, where'd you see that?
I'll post it up to the nest. Hang on.
Thanks.
I'm gonna forget this.
We are starting to see a little bit of a pullback here in the markets. Small little 5 and 15-minute pullback. I think there's some support here at the 601.20. That's your 15-minute intraday 20 moving average, as well as this previous little consolidation zone. Getting a little bit of the buy the dip, potential little bearish crossover of on the 5-minute chart. There should be a little bit of a retest. We'll see if the bulls fumble it here. We're still putting in higher highs, higher lows in the market session. Our Micron short is printing still. Tesla is still very, very strong, pushing back near the highs of the session. We took the majority of our shares off the table when we hit the low boundary channel here. I still have some runners on the table with an average short 319.91. NVIDIA obviously negated that big bearish 15-minute head and shoulders. Wasn't quite ready to break down. Doesn't mean it can't retest that wick low. But definitely a strong bounce off of that gap fill and recovered that prior day low. See if we can get a little bit of a flush here. Okay, I'm still holding those 0DT 601 puts. I'm down on them. I know a few of you, like Sarfrez, is up. Much better entry. So nice job. But let's just see if we can get some more weakness in this market. If we flush into the 601 zone here, I will look to exit these
GameStop
put
looks like
options.
it's forming a nasty H pattern on the daily.
They report in hours.
Yeah.
Oh shit, they reported in 2 hours. Chewy's also kind of selling off a little bit ahead of their earnings report tomorrow morning.
Everyone thinks GME is going to be to the upside.
Yeah, maybe strength in crypto and their decision to go into it.
The apes are always hopeful.
And positioning wise, they expect a 15 to 17, or let's say 16% move in either direction.
Awesome.
Yeah. Seems like more on the upside though.
Apple looks like it wants to test the lower day.
If Apple breaks through 200 now, I'm going to be pissed.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, me either. But my puts have been decimated today on Apple. Well, I don't hold them anymore, but I took a good little loss on Apple today.
What's going on here? Disney had a pullback. Hope you guys took your profits when Disney hit 120, like I called out. It's at 118 now, 118.44.
They completed their acquisition of Hulu. They own the entirety of it now, I've heard.
Sweet. Because my Disney Plus sucks.
You don't have it with Hulu?
I'm Canadian, so we don't have Hulu.
Oh shit. I only watch Hulu through the Disney app. It was just cheaper to get Hulu that way.
I wonder if we'll get it now.
Yeah, that'd have to suck not being able to get Hulu. That would kind of be like not being able to get Netflix.
Big Kev, another ticker that was on that list that you sent was Riot. Look at that thing right now.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier. It's gonna move like how Bitcoin moves for the most part, but what is it doing? Trying to roll a joint right now, King.
Oh yeah, it's setting up really nice right now. It's just over 1026. Uh, looking like it's ready to go soon.
Also, I'm sweating my meta shit. I said I wasn't gonna do nothing heavy, but then when I added to my meta plays, it kind of made me a little heavy. So now I'm
Yeah.
just watching.
Okay. The next level I have on Riot to the upside is 1240. If you could get over this level that it's at right now, 1027, see a nice push.
I'm getting all kind of alerts on Intel.
Yeah, that one's going like it's on full breakout mode right now.
Oh shit.
2240 is the next level, and then over that it's actually some micro levels. 2335,
What is Intel at right now?
2223.
Yeah, it's 2250. Pay like fuck.
It's up $2 today.
Yeah, this call went from 31 cent to 70 cents now. It's already doubled.
Yeah, shit, hell yeah, that's nice.
Let's go.
And with all this bullish flow, those contracts will fuck around and triple.
Yep.
Should have jumped in earlier when I. Yeah, should have jumped in earlier.
Yeah, I'm asleep at the wheel today. I guess I'm missing everything. Not
I
playing.
ain't gonna say I'm asleep at the wheel. I just like I'm I got money allocated other places.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on my side, I was busy this morning, so I heard you guys talking a little bit about Disney, but I didn't look at it.
Yeah, I destroyed that Disney one, let me tell you.
I see also for Qualcomm 170 calls for
Yep.
July 3. So I don't know. Is there maybe some news between partnership between Intel and Qualcomm?
I don't know. I don't see anything, but I
Uh,
I saw that Qualcomm before when it was making that move. That's why I kept calling it out. Qualcomm, Qualcomm. Um,
I mean, at the end, Intel should sell its foundry to someone.
level is pretty strong on Intel to the upside, so if you could get over that level, it should go to 25 at least. Mm. Nope, not
I
yet.
think that's it.
It's over. It's over today's high.
Ah,
My level is 322.62 on Tesla to the upside.
ah,
If it gets over that, it's going to 330.
nice.
Those Tesla 350s I got into yesterday, they're up today 41%. Overall 185%. Got them at $55 yesterday. They're at 156 right now.
You know, it's so weird. Like Waymo was on the roads for 3 years, and I don't think it was ever once a catalyst for for Google stock. I think Tesla's just starving for another revenue stream that the hope has a lot more impact.
Yeah. Wait a minute. And there's so many levels on my Tesla chart. It looks like a broken glass, like when you break your screen on your TV or something. It's just lines everywhere.
Well, I think I'm out of play now. I think Tesla's got to be over 350 for me to do anything with it from here.
Yeah. Well,
It's cool. I made tons of money today, and yesterday was fucking crazy. Just the catalyst just came in. You just buy
yep.
the options.
Mhm. Are you gonna push up there or what? What are you doing, Tessie?
It's got to be running out of steam, right? I mean, unless it just
I don't
cranks
know,
on.
man.
There it is. Whoop! Just as I said that, new high a day.
Yeah, 322. Okay, it just it's about. Come on, hit my target, baby. 322.23 it went to. Unbelievable. Come on. Shit. Telling you right now, if this gets over this level, 332 will come fast because that's a gap. It will fly through that gap like hot knife through butter.
Smith and Wesson's having a pretty good pullback right now.
Okay, Jordi mentioning some volume activity on X United Stills. So they are up 60 cents from 15 minutes ago.
See what this 2 o'clock algo does.
I jumped in Tempest June 20th calls for $75.
Ah,
I don't think it'll get to 75, but I'm
those
just
are
playing.
cheap.
I think you can go to 70 at least.
Yo, Apple is no joke, bro. I can't with this sticker.
It won't go. Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
won't. It just won't fall down there, man. It's like it's allergic to that level.
It's one of the worst
So
names to
just
go
trimmed
for
half of my
volatility. I mean,
SPY
in terms of
puts.
like,
Just trimmed half of my 0DT SPY puts. Boom, look at that dump. There we go. I'm all out. I'm all out. What a dump. What a trade, guys. What a trade. I am all out of my SPY puts. That just hit target. Boom. Look at that little. Look at that dump. I got my remainder out at $1.20. Holy, that was massive, massive dump. Great job. Great job. That's what I'm talking about. Another 100% banger right here on the live stream. These are still printing. Holy. All right, guys, I'm looking at a long entry. I want to see, it's very aggressive, but I want to see a tap of 599. I want to see us pierce 600 for an aggressive long entry. A pierce of 600 for an aggressive long entry. That was crazy. Man, that was nice. I made 140% on those SPY puts. Surfers, you probably made more. Wow. That was insane. That was crazy dump. All right, guys. So Pierce of 600, I am looking to just take some common shares long on SPY. A Pierce of 600. Man, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Love that. Every day of the week. That's the dump I was looking for. What a bounce. Holy. And we were sitting on those for quite a little bit there. That's for sure. We were sitting on those. Those puts absolutely printed. Well done, Sarpras. Well done if you took those puts with us. I'm still looking at going long this market, but I need to see a touch below this 590. It's your 236 fib zone. It is an aggressive buy, but I think that we can look for a bit of support there. SPY came right into my target. I even had that little arrow marked there for about the last hour. Now I need to move this arrow down slightly. I think we could still flush a little bit lower, guys. Next trend line of support, but this is getting bought up with fierce power. Wow. All right. That was really good. That was a beautiful trade. I made just over $1,200 on that single trade. Nice little banger there. It's not even power hour. All right, we are coming back down. I repeat, we are coming back down. If you're looking to go long calls, I would take in the money calls off of this level. So looking at, we're going to pierce the 600 zone. So I would look at going long, either long 599 calls or long 600 calls. I don't think we want to take anything too crazy out of the money. If you're wanting to risk it for the biscuit, by all means, but I'm looking at potentially going long the 599s or 600s. I'll probably choose 600s. We should get a bounce back up. So I'll probably choose to go long the 600s, but that was really nice. Great trading, guys. Good. Still holding Micron. Micron is melting away. NVIDIA is melting. Micron's melting. Let's look at Mr. Tessie. Tesla obviously coming down as well. Still holding that short. Lowercase h pattern on the 1 minute chart for SPY here. SPY is going to go a little bit lower in my opinion. A touch lower we should go. Please hit that like button on the stream, YouTube. Alright, Micron's peeling away. Look at these puts print on Micron. Alright, I'm going to hop on silent here. If anything crazy happens, again, I'll jump back on. But realistically, SPY needs to head below 600 for me to consider a long trade. But everyone should have caught that SPY short with us. We put it in the Telegram group, and we absolutely printed. I had such a bad fill. You know, at the low, I think the contracts that I entered at 50 cents went to about 30 cents. I know one of the members entered around 36 cents surface, so everyone had an opportunity to take those SPY puts with us. And very nice trade. For all of you, those that stuck through it, sometimes you got to go through a little bit of pain and volatility before you get the bigger move. But stunning breakdown in SPY. And a lot of volatility, a lot of intraday volatility. A ton, right? Alright guys, we'll be back on for power unless anything drastic changes. Again, my long level is a pierce of 600 around 599.70, give or take a few. And we're still printing on Micron. I'm looking to probably swing Micron common shares short overnight, as well as the put options that we entered with members. Okay?
Austin banned customers, only employees allowed to ride in the robo taxis.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and this guy Roger, RG.
Roger again. Here comes Roger to drive the stock down.
But he also posted 12 minutes ago Tesla robotaxi incidents that you could track the robotaxi incidents. Let me see if I could put that in the.
Yeah, put all of that up there.
Copy.
Yes, you can also see the Austin has a website that you can also take, for example,
Yeah, I just
incidents
put it
for
in purple
Waymo.
pill. Yep.
Waymo and stuff. One thing about robotaxi very quickly, that because Tesla, so we have three phases: mapping, testing, and deployment. So Waymo is already in deployment. So Tesla is in mapping. So they need to have a licensed remote operator or someone inside of the car. So that is mandatory. And the other one that also they need to like logging, logging the data, as well as they need to have some kind of permit. I forgot the name of the permit. Yeah, but the remote operator, everybody said, oh, it's bearish. This is a mandatory thing, for if the company who is testing is in the testing phase, so.
Yeah, so this shit is not bullish for Tesla. The
So my point is, even if the car goes wrong, like there is a remote operator already there,
yeah.
and I'm not sure if we understand that the car, is handled by remote operator or himself, so by itself.
Bro. YOLO, you adding to your puts?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to my March ones I did.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm gonna keep the July 280s I have as is, but I kept adding. I added two I added two more times today.
Yeah.
Around yeah, so on March ones.
Nice, nice. Good ads. Oh, shit.
So if that Bloomberg article, basically Bloomberg is saying June 12th, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing I've seen for
Right. So
that
does
one
that
article.
mean when the 12th comes around and then Tesla doesn't say anything? What happens then?
Yeah, because everybody's picking it up, but it just seems like they're launching it. So I don't think it's an actual event. I think it's just that's when they'll have them out more
I
Oh,
agree.
often.
I never heard of an event.
so okay.
Yeah, so they're going to be starting their robo taxi service, but I guess it's only going to be probably like for employees only and not really. I think I don't know if it was Monative or whoever said before, but yeah, just start their mapping phase.
They're not registered as mapping. Mapping is a selector
Okay.
on the Austin City website, because other entities are approved for mapping specifically as different than testing, and different to um, whatever, there's a word that they used for in commercial use. Mapping is different, and Tesla is labeled as testing. But yeah, we were talking about like the rollout, and Monative said Waymo was internal for 2 years. So it is the most likely outcome that they will spend a sustained amount of time just with their own employees.
Bro, look at this thing. Back to 320 Tesla. I can't.
It's awesome. It's the everything stock.
Seriously, depending who you talk to, they make every single thing people have ever needed.
I'm out of everything I'm willing to let go to that I bought over the last week. I think I still have like a couple grand in shares of different things that I want to hang on to just because they were the best prices I got on that big fall to 273.
Hmm. Man, Big Kev, if you're there, look at that bounce on NVIDIA, bro.
You say look at what?
That NVIDIA bounce.
Oh yeah.
It's pushing pretty hard. It's getting some nice volume here.
Are new highs a myth? And specifically in regard to NVIDIA, because I get the idea they are.
That thing likes to trade sideways.
I'm in it to win that one though. I'm not letting go of anything I'm holding on Nvidia until we see new highs and like 159 maybe.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna let go of my Nvidia shares. I got those at $90, so I'm holding those.
Solid.
And then I just have 2026 and 2027 110 call leaps. So I sold half the position. I'm only holding half on the contracts. But look at SoFi today. Hmm.
Let's go, Microsoft.
Yeah, Bolbier, there is 16 calls for December.
On SoFi?
Yep.
Ah.
They bought it. They bought each contract for 187. So I don't know.
Oh wow.
What is the current price?
SoFi right now is 1430.
Okay, I see.
It's kind of crazy because over this 1439 level, my next level is $15.14. So that kind of makes sense that you're seeing $16 calls out that far.
Yeah, they are now 192.
Yeah.
It's from
Your mic is fucking
X's.
up.
Oh, sorry.
It's better now. It was just
Oh,
choppy for a
okay.
little bit.
Elon Musk is tweeting about one of the Tesla guys, big Tesla accounts, was asking if it's the same software. Elon Musk, these are unmodified Tesla cars coming straight from the factory, meaning that every Tesla coming out of our factories is capable of unsupervised self-driving. So that's kind of what I thought, because I do see Ubers and Lyfts as Teslas, and I imagine a lot of them are Model Ys. So I think he's trying to pump the stock on like rapid expansion. Another guy asked what software version do these have, and he says it's a new version of software, but will merge to main branch soon. Don't understand that. We have more advanced model alpha, probably ready to deploy in a few months, which means 2 years. Musk time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, the White House confirmed that Secretary Bessent is not a candidate that they're looking at. They said that claim was not true. I mean, that would be pretty bad if he was a candidate. And these charts are moving so slow that I can't tell if my thing's broken or not.
Yeah. It's snail pace right now. Tesla back over 321. I still think I could get this move. I have one call on Tesla. Just waiting. $321.50. Tesla over 322. Battling right here again.
Keep an eye on EVGO. Looking like it's ready to catch a beat. Put some more follow through.
Tesla just hit my target. 322.62 was my target for Tesla to the upside. If it could get over that.
I had six. Yeah, I got 67 and it hit that too. Yeah, yeah. It wants to go up. It's just.
Yeah. What is this right here? Let me see this for a minute. Yeah, if this cracks this and gets over this, it's gone, man. That's crazy. 200% on those Tesla 350s for this week.
Job.
That was the boss man, the D-Lo move right there.
Yes, sir.
Biggest, the largest.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, she's definitely trying to break out for sure.
Who, Tesla?
Yeah. She
looks like it wants to.
Yep.
Yeah, I still think like I've added to my reasons as to why I think that fight between them was engineered. And I think it's the most obvious reason is it's just another chance for all the inner circle Trump admin to get in on the stock.
You think that was their play? They sat down in a room and they said, "You know what? We're gonna
I
fight."
don't think. No, I don't think anything is said. I think that these guys are such pros that they know bringing attention to it or verbalizing it in any way would implicate people, thereby
Yeah.
causing harm.
Yeah, it's leaking everything to the news and all that. Like people must be making bank.
NVDA and Meta had a nice bounce.
Microsoft is still slowly going to the basement.
Yeah, I cut my Meta puts, but I added back to my Microsoft puts. Also, I grabbed Apple 200s. But I'm out of Meta. NVIDIA's getting a really nice push here. Palantir's getting a pretty good push here as well. IWM look like it wants to go to the basement. Dow looks like it wants to go to the basement.
Yeah.
That's where tech support is.
Yeah, basement gang, bro. Fully activated.
Yeah, I don't even know if y'all know what basements are where you are from. You don't have basements in storm cellars.
Well, we don't have storm cellars here in New York, but we have basements. is ANET doing? I haven't heard anybody talk about ANET. ANET, Arista Networks. Holy, look at ANET. What happened here?
Oh no, this looks like a pullback. 92 needs to hold for ANET for bullish follow through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it ain't looking like 92 will hold. 92 doesn't hold. It's going down to 80, 84.50, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. This is so crazy. Tesla hit the fib level and it's just not past. It's not getting over that fib level. So they're not letting it go. If this doesn't get over this before the end of the day, they might just sell this.
They waiting on them delivery numbers to come out.
When does that come out? Today?
I don't know. I ain't got a clue.
Oh yeah.
I thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah. Hmm.
If you miss GRRR, it had a nice little pullback past couple of days, like it's holding levels.
Profits on my Hershey November 21st 190 call. Again, I took profits on half of my Hershey 190 call. We were telegraphing this move off of this 150 zone. We bought calls, the 190 November 21st calls, when they were trading at 152.77. Hershey's had an astonishing move to the upside. We netted over 140% on that single trade, with about a 10-11% move to the upside in the last 2 weeks. I still think Hershey can likely push even higher up to the 176 zone, but we should see a minor little pullback and then most likely a continuation move higher. So pulled profits from the Hershey 190 calls, banking over 140%, still holding half of the contracts, putting a stop loss in place at 350
Trump is pulling
con. And again, we entered those contracts when they were
education grants,
$2.05.
federal
They
funds,
were dirt
basically
cheap.
from California.
I gave you my thesis on it. I even did a couple
Nice.
videos free on YouTube. A lot of investors
Got
in
some
the
gas on
summer
this fire.
typically like to
Yeah,
front
dude,
run the
getting yelled
stock
about.
as humans will likely
California
eat
has
more
like is like
sugar,
wasn't it
and
like the fifth
historically
largest
and just
economy in the world?
biology they eat more sugar
Yeah,
in summer.
Just the
And then
state
a lot of
alone.
investors like to front run
basically bigger kind
the
of GDP than
October
Canada.
period when Halloween
Yeah.
starts to creep in. So nice little profit if you took that with us.
Microsoft's getting a bid.
That was a very, very nice trade off of those lows. Power hour set to occur in about 23
look
minutes.
at Tesla retested that higher day just now.
Yeah, it's going up. 320, 326. I got 326, 329,
Yeah, I have
333,
332.
and then 339.
Yeah, I have 332.55. Over that, I have 342, 345, and 350.
Yeah, there's a gap at
22.
327, something like that.
I have a gap right here at 322. Actually, 324.21.
I'm looking at the daily gap. The
Oh, the
daily
daily
gap
gap.
is
Oh,
at
okay.
327.30.
Okay.
Probably hits that today.
323. Here we go, baby. Send this. Valhalla. Send it, baby.
It wants to go.
Yep.
See, I knew they could do. I knew they could do what they were doing. I think this has been delayed for years, right? Like this is the delay date after having promised it to have happened 2 years ago. But I knew they could do it just from like when he said they were going to build a cyber truck. I was like, yeah, right. Because that's like the idea. Like all these car makers, they make these concept cars, they show them at some fancy thing, and then you never see them in production. But they actually did that. They built that truck like barely any time. I thought.
I mean, there's a reason they don't sell the concept cars. Like usually they're just not feasible or not profitable. There's not enough market share. Usually they use it for like testing and innovation. They'll tote them around for investors too to get a little bit more interest in financing for the company.
I guess that makes sense. So, is it a bad idea that Tesla made that truck and put it into production?
I mean, the sales numbers kind of say it might have been a bad idea. But I mean, you gotta take some. Elon has a lot of control over the company, so he can do these wild things. Like the other companies, they don't have that freedom to do what Tesla does. They're in a very unique position.
Oh, whoa, SoFi. Nice big volume candle on SoFi 10-minute.
Yeah, Inter July 16 calls.
Yeah.
July 18,
Let me get
16
some of
calls.
those.
I mean, that is breakout on daily, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I had them, but they were underwater, so I just add more.
I'm going to decide what to do with my Microsoft puts. I'll hold them.
469.12. That's what I have. Actually, 4.6. You could do 469 to be fair. You got weeklies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of sell pressure on 470.
Yeah. What push do you have? Because I got the 465. I'm only down 6%. So.
Yeah, I probably got them a little bit earlier. I'm down 12% now, but I was like 16, 17 before. There's nothing else to do, so I'm watching them too close. But I'm gonna hold them.
All right, so Meta just got back over VWAP. It's back over 700 on Meta.
These smaller names that don't have as much liquidity, man, is it nice when they move, but it's very frustrating to get your options filled.
So VIX blew through that 1682 support that I talked about. It wanted to kind of gravitate towards earlier today.
Let's see what SPY is doing on that.
Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Accidentally added to a position instead of selling it.
Man, I might just grab some spot calls the way this VIX is going down.
Yeah, that's how I'm like, wait, what is SPY doing? So 605 calls that BB jumped into earlier.
What's that?
No, Big Kev was saying he might just jump into some SPY calls. So I was telling him that you jumped into 605 calls earlier.
Yeah, I'm not holding them anymore.
Nah, the VIX still might hold 1682. That's still, they ain't really just lost that yet.
Yeah, Meta is pushing right now, guys. Buy signal on Meta. Whoa, Tesla. We're going to retest this high again, 322.90. $323, there we go. How much are these calls up? 218%. Let's go.
Palantir looks bullish again.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Palantir
Boeing,
looks like it's ready for breakout mode, possibly.
Boeing as well. I'm saying Boeing looks constructive. Seems to found a bottom around the 215 level.
Mm-hmm. All right, there goes Tesla, 323.40.
Going to 326. The 200-day moving average is $306.
Hmm.
So this isn't a run up to the 200. This is it getting further extended from it.
Yeah, I see that level you're talking about. I have 326.38 on Tesla. NFP low on Tesla for February this year is 357.32.
Apple looks bullish now.
Gotta grab something to eat. Yeah, guys. Um, you guys don't have to DM me or ask me about a Discord. I don't have a Discord. And this is my only account. I have zero Discord. I will never have a Discord. So, there. I'm not selling anything, period.
Love that.
Yes, sir. I'm good. I could hardly manage my own trades, much less have a Discord. No, I'm good with that. Hi, is that you? You're waking up?
I just longed Solana 160. They just got the word that spot ETF could be approved within 3 weeks.
Oh,
SEC
wow.
is asking for S1 approvals, amended approvals. So I longed it 160. It's fucking pumping.
Oh, man. Add
What's
someone
the
if
ticker?
it's
Yeah,
Solana. I
Solana.
think it's what is that? It's crypto, so SOL.
Yeah.
Didn't they launched an ETF? Didn't they recently? They joined in an ETF.
I'm looking at the ticker OSOL. That's going to be abandoned, or is that the one that's going to go spot?
No, I don't think they've announced what ticker it's gonna be. But hey, but there is that fuck, there was like a MSTR version of Soul that was like $1.50. That shit's probably pumping.
There's one here. It's $4.28. Actually, it was just 26 cents. So this might actually be a good thing to buy right now.
Which one was it?
OSOL.
Oh, I don't see that on my. It's not coming up. But I just.
Osprey Solana Trust.
Oh, okay. I long spot 40 20x on Hyperliquid. I just market bought that shit when I saw that news. It was already pumping, and I just market bought it. 165 now.
Yeah, this is breaking.
Yeah, I just grabbed the coin COIN $300 calls for July 18th. Just one lotto. That's it. Tesla trying again for 323.
Man, this OSOL, like I can look at it, but I'm kind of SOL because my broker won't let me trade it.
SOL, huh?
Exactly. Oh, well, there you go.
No, so there was another ticker that came out like a week ago. Fuck, which one was it? I had it in my watch list, but I removed it like yesterday.
Yeah, no, I'm looking for it too.
And that was like they did the same thing. They were buying like 250 million Solana or something like that worth.
It's a really dumb name too.
Yeah, it was. That thing is probably already up a lot. Damn it, man. So this is gives Solana 3 to 5 weeks of like rumor to pump. This is what happened with Bitcoin when they launched Spot. Same thing happened with Ethereum when they launched Spot. So yeah.
CB.
On that Coinbase, it was 29,470 of the August 15th 250 calls bought at 28.30. That's there's kind of action there.
NVIDIA is 144, 143, 51, 52.
I dumped my Microsoft puts. We'll see if there's a better point to re-enter.
Yeah, cut mine 20% loss as well.
I jumped into SOLT, so it's a 2-time leveraged Solana ETF.
Thanks for that. Checking it out.
Damn, Q, SPY, everything is breaking out in breakout mode. Let's go.
Oh shit. Qs are pumping. Fuck, I should have kept my SPY calls.
Looks like SPY's going to 605.
Yep.
Tesla 324.
So, yeah, man, that VIX was pulling back like that, man. I said I should have just grabbed SPY calls. Why didn't I just do it? SPY broke all the way the fuck out. Well, not really. Q's broke higher day. SPY's testing higher day. Tesla broke higher day. Apple pumping now. Just said Apple looked bullish. Nvidia broke higher day. Palantir's getting a pretty decent push. I did grab some Palantir 135 calls for next week. That is pushing towards 702, looking real good. Microsoft looks like it wants to try to attempt to change a character. Google still looks like a dog. IWM is trying to push. Amazon trying to push. Dow now looks bullish again.
Yeah, I jumped back into my SPY calls.
Luckily, saying talks are going really well. Hope they end this evening.
ACDC, you talked about that. That was on the what's the name? ACDC looking like it's getting a test higher day.
Yeah, sorry guys, I stepped away for a little bit. Look at Tesla.
Yeah, I just talked about Tesla. I just gave a whole market rundown. You're late. You just kind of
Sorry.
excuse yourself.
I
Excuse yourself.
stepped away. Sorry.
Look at ACDC.
Yes, sir. Mm. Yeah, this thing is going.
SPY's breaking high day. China talks could go into Wednesday if need be.
SPY getting a nice little pump. I just realized I hadn't eaten anything today at all.
I'm in on SOLT.
Nice.
Nice. Let's go.
In order to buy a stock, I like to see that it's up 10%.
It's power hour, and the markets are absolutely flying. This is going to give us a chance, in my opinion, to get a 0 DTE short off. We banked 140% off of the last SPY 601 0 DTE put, and there's a chance that we can get it again. So I'm looking at SPY pressing here, absolutely flying high to the sky. Tesla ripped face, trading at 323.99. SPY is coming up into that weekly resistance pivot. I repeat, there is a weekly resistance pivot on SPY. But you can see the bullish momentum in the market just wanting to press higher and higher. We're also going to scan through a couple charts, see if there's any sort of new swing trading opportunities. Yep, I'm still holding Tesla. But we took profits on the first half. But I'm still holding Tesla. My average is 320.24. And I do have room to add because I trimmed half the position. So I was looking to add, if we got a Pierce of 325, I'd probably consider adding. 325 is kind of a liquidity sweep of that gap window pivot. All right, SPY is coming up into a potential short zone in my opinion. SPY is coming up into a potential scalp short here, guys. I'm looking at some 0 DTE options off of this next high spike on SPY. We're looking to tap 603. I'm probably going to buy 603 0 DTE puts on SPY. Once we tap that zone. So 603 0 DTE puts are sitting at around 71 cents right now. We should get them a little cheaper. We should get them around, I would say 60 cents or so. I'd be interested. But I'm waiting for one more little high spike on SPY, and I'm going to execute a 0 DTE short. Simultaneously, we can look through some charts to see if there's any other trade setups. We've taken a massive amount of trades off of the table with members today. We took a beautiful profit over 100% on our SPY put day trading. We took over 100% on our Hershey call options. Took a monster win on our GE puts. It's been a pretty successful trading session. All right, guys, here comes SPY. This is aggressive. I'm waiting for it to pierce the 603 zone. There's a new high liquidity spike. Come on, SPY. Give it up. I'll let you know. I'm waiting for it to try to sweep this liquidity a little bit. There it goes. Let's keep our eye on NVDA because that is a high flyer. That could have been the high spike on SPY. I'm waiting for maybe one more little high spike liquidity grab. Contracts are at 66 cents. I think the low there was 62. Let's see if we can get a 0 DT trade. I am seeing NVIDIA pushing. So there might be one more little surge in this market. Apple's trying to push itself, so I'm going to wait. Microsoft also trying to push. It's tempting in the zone here. Come Come on, give us a little bit of a volume spike through the zone. There it is, guys. I'm filled. I just got filled. There's the volume spike. Boom. Contracts at 55 cents, guys. I got filled at 55 cents. That's aggressive 0 DTE. 603 put at 0.55 cents. That was the liquidity sweep and spike. I repeat, that was the liquidity sweep and spike. You can even get a better fill than me, but I'm in at 55 cents. 603 put, 0 DTE. Let's see what happens here. Here we go. We are in 0 DT 603 put on SPY. 55 cents is my entry. That was the liquidity spike. Let's see if they want to trap some longs up here, chasing the breakout. Come on, SPY. Here we go. We're up 5 cents a con. This has got some more room to the downside. Sarfer's got in at 56 cents. Nice, nice. That's still a good entry. That was the liquidity sweep, guys. I love when we get those liquidity high pivot sweeps. That is one of the major setups we've been using here on the live day trading room. We should have a little bit more downside. NVIDIA coming in a touch here. Apple swept its high pivot. Microsoft did a little sweep. This market is trying to maintain bullish structure, and it is in a very strong uptrend. We are just scalping short here for a potential pullback. SPY is the lagger of the ETFs. Come on, give us a dump here. Contracts are now sitting at 57 cents. Sarfraz and I made a lovely chunk on the first put. Anonymous saying in NVIDIA 142 put, if 144 is denied again would be cool. Yeah, 144 could work. And you obviously have till the end of the week if that's the strike zone you took at. So contracts on the 603 0DT put are sitting at 57 cents. They're climbing a touch here. I'm looking for a pullback on SPY. First, you'll have a little bit of support back at these previous little wicks here. Let me get my little drawing tool out. Around 602.60, we should have a little bit of support on SPY. Paul jumped into Zena here, Z-E-N-A. Are you looking at a long? Most likely a long. Let's look at that QBTS from earlier. That was really the only loss on the session for us. That is trying to trigger an inverse head and shoulders on the 3-minute chart. Currently trying to break out. Looks pretty good to me. But I'm just sticking with the SPY trade. We're up about 6 cents so far. Come on. Dump it, SPY. Dump it. All right, guys. So my first profit target on these SPY puts is around 602.60 to 602.50. My game plan is I'll trim half of the puts here. That would be target 1. Target 2 would be around 602.20. And then target 3 would be the runners down to about 602. So we're trimming profits around every 30 to 50 cents on SPY. Come on. We need a fast dump here. Time is against us. Time is against us. Apple coming in a touch. Tesla still remaining very firm. Tesla could be going for another one more high pivot liquidity sweep itself. Looking like it wants to make another new high. Contracts now 53 cents. I'm down about 2 cents on them. That's okay. We'll see what happens. This is what happens when you take 0 DTEs late in the session, extreme volatility, and that theta time is against us. Apple's trying to curl to the upside here. Apple is trying to curl to the upside. Come on, markets, give it up. You know you want to. Bitcoin's had a nice rebound, recapturing 109. First Solar continuing to grind. Netflix back above 1200. Decent bounce on Netflix. Come on, give us a quick dump. And I'm expecting if these put plays work out, we're gonna get a sharp move down into the 60250 zone. That's where first trim is, guys. It should put contracts probably around 75 cents. Come on, give us another leg lower. Sarfar is saying Xena should wait for 450. Yeah, 450 is definitely better. You're into that gap fill. It's a hard name for me to chase up here. Intraday, though. Paul's just looking for a quick scalp, I guess. Apple's still trying to sweep that liquidity. Apple swept that liquidity. Tesla's still trying. Yeah, Paul's just day trading. He's a little scalper as well. Come on, SPY. So we are in the 603, or I'm in the 603 0DT put. Filled at 55 cents on SPY. Again, 0DT plays are sized for extreme loss, especially when you only have about 50 minutes left, 48 minutes left in the session. Come on, drop it. We're curling below the 1 minute moving average. I want to see a quick drop into TP number 1, which is around 602.60, 602.50. Come on. Micron's still remaining firm. NVIDIA's still staying elevated. Excuse me. Wow, Intel up 8.6%. I didn't even know that. No wonder semis are flying. When the hell did Intel have this move? Was there news on Intel? There must have been news on Intel. Intel doesn't just pop like that. Has been appointed as the new CEO of Intel. So Lip Bhutan has been appointed as the new CEO of implementing strategies to reduce headcount, streamline operations. God, Intel. Breaking out on the daily chart, Intel. Interesting. Intel's another stock that seems to move inversely of the market, but today it's obviously helping things. SPY is just stuck in this tight range. Ford up a couple percent today. QUBT, Rigetti, that's holding some technical support. Come on, SPY. Down a penny on these 0DTEs. Down a penny. Warner Brothers, another bullish reversal, back up 6% today. Wow. Palantir trading at 133. That's a strong bounce since it hit its first fib level. There's a big down move on SPY, guys. I'm up 10 cents on these contracts. I'm still looking for more. Come on, give us another down leg. We should get another down leg. Come on. Come on, don't bounce off of that simple moving average yet. I want one more downside. Here we go. Come on, give us a quick spike down and we will look to trim. Come on, give us 75 cents on these contracts. Trading at 69 cents. Come on. Keep printing. Keep printing. Come on. 602.50's incoming. 602.60 to 602.50 is target 1. Come on. Give us a 3-bar surge to the downside on the 1 minute time frame. We got 3 minutes of back-to-back. Sell side pressure. Come on. There's a big drop, guys. There's a big drop on SPY. We're at 72 cents these cons. Come on. Again, first trim is around that 70-cent mark on these contracts. I'm looking for about 75 cents on these contracts as my first trim. We're very close to hitting that. SPY's getting a little bit of a bid here. All right, so since we're now in the money on these contracts, the prudent thing to do on these 0DTs is to not let them go against you. They're going to quickly decay if this market bounces. Still looking for profit target 1 to be hit momentarily here. 602.60. Come on. There's 75 cents, guys. I took my first trim. First trim. Boom. Still holding half of the position. Come on, give us a quick dip. You got more. We're printing, guys. We're printing. Keep falling. Come on. So now how I'm going to play these is I'm going to have a hard stop at 55 cents. That's my entry price. A hard stop at 55 cents. So I made 36% on the first target price there, guys. Beautiful little 0DTE trade. That's what we do here in the afternoon session. Don't let these contracts go against you now. Again, my entry's at 55 cents. Next profit target, guys, is around 602.30. Contracts should get to around, there's a big dump, guys. Contracts are now up 30 cents. Come on. Give us a little bit more. Give us a little bit more. NVIDIA's just starting to curl to the downside. Come on. Look at this. These puts are printing. These puts are printing. If you want to trim more, you can. Up to 88 cents. If you want to exit the full position, by all means. I'm still looking for a tap of 602.20 now, but I'm not going to let these contracts go against me. SARFAR's all out at 92 cents. Nice. Beautiful, SARFAR's. I'm still holding some runners. But I've taken profits. I've taken 36%. Maria, yes, we do live daily every morning. The first 90 minutes contracts are at 91 cents. Come on. Give us more. My next trim, if we get another 1 minute bar down, we're taking another trim. Come on, give us 602.20. Give us 602.20. Big bounce, big bounce. All right, so I'm going to have a hard stop at 55 cents on these contracts. In the event that we start to push up here, there's still a chance we can go lower. We can absolutely knife here. We could knife down. Late in the session, back testing the 5 minute. This is technical intraday support. We are trying to potentially put in a hourly candle that's sweeping that previous high pivot liquidity. It's been a very choppy and volatile day. Nice little exit there, Sarfraz. Beautiful at 92 cents. You pretty much picked the lows. I've still got some runners. The trade is risk-free for me. I do not have any problem holding this, even though theta is against us, time is against us. Late sessions typically have big moves, and the type of volatility that we've seen today is pretty immense. NVIDIA is still holding very, very strong bullish structure on the 3 minute chart. If NVIDIA starts to break down here, that's what's going to help SPY take the next leg lower. Microsoft under some distribution. Apple breaching its 3 minutes, so NVIDIA is still holding relative strength for the time being. Let's flip back to Tesla. Tesla's sweeping its high pivot liquidity here. This is a technical short zone for Tesla. Hitting 325, guys. Hitting 325 on Tesla. Busting through this liquidity. This could be the next leg lower if Tesla starts to break down here. It is a short zone around here for Tesla. We're still up 20 cents on the running 0DTE puts on SPY. Taking 36% on the first bit. Sarfraz entered at 56 cents, got out at 92 cents. Beautiful little trade there. What is that, Sarfraz? Like 70%? Come on, SPY, give it to us. Tesla's just still super, super strong. Super, super strong. SPY's trying to perk back up. Again, do not let these, if you're in these 0DT puts with me on SPY, do not let them go against you. There's not enough time in the session. We might even have another opportunity if we float higher, but do not let the puts go against you. My hard stop is 55 cents a con on the 603 0DT SPY puts. We've already trimmed, and there's still about 40 minutes, so if we get stopped out of this trade, we will look to just scan some charts for some potential day trades tomorrow, swing trades. If there's tickers you want to discuss, feel free to put them in the chat box. Edward's already saying something about Tesla. I missed that alert. What's Edward saying? Tesla gap close at 331. Yeah, that's not going to happen today, but you're right. You're into that gap zone now. 331.90, just below 332. I have that gap fill. So you're into the gap window, is what they like to call it, which typically hosts a lot of buying strength. A lot of people like to chase gap windows into those gap fills. All right, guys, I'm about to get stopped out on the remaining runners of my SPY puts. I repeat, I'm about to get stopped out at break even. We're still holding. So the first half, I took 36%. Nice little win on SPY. Still in, though. Still up about 5 cents here. A con. Come on. I have 10 more contracts running. 10 more contracts running. Come on. Curling back lower. Let's see if we get another little dip. Maybe a little bit of a lower high on SPY. We're still up 10 cents. 10 cents on the remaining half. Starfires is in a Lotto 601 put. 11 cents. Ooh, risky business, eh? That's a risky business trade. Wow. Should I take the opposite of you, Starfires, and say 603 or 604 call? Tesla's a beast. Tesla is a beast. Come on. We're still up about 11 cents a contract here on the SPY 603 0DT puts. I already trimmed 10 contracts for a nice 36% gain. Holding 10 more. We are starting to curl to the downside up about 13 cents. Give us another little break. Give us another little break. Let's look at the 5-minute chart of SPY, see if we're getting any. Yeah, that's why we're trying to hold here. We're back testing that 7 MA. Tesla's still remaining firm. I think SPY really takes the next down leg if Tesla gives up its price action. You're starting to see NVIDIA lose that 7-minute moving average. Sorry, the 7 MA on the 3-minute chart. Got a little bit of a bearish cross on the shorter 1-minute time frames. Come on. All right, guys, I'm almost going to get stopped out on these runners at break even. Come on, give us another down move. Tesla's starting to come in, guys. This could help. This could absolutely help. Contracts are at 62 cents. Tesla's starting to curl lower, guys. This is what we're waiting for. This is what we're waiting for. Let's take a peek at NVIDIA. NVIDIA also trying to lose some key supports here intraday. Let's look at Apple. Apple catching a bounce. Microsoft's pushing. So that's going to help. Come on. Give us a roll down. Anonymous is 144. NVIDIA puts are in the money. Good job on that trade. Still up about 11 cents on these SPY 603 0 DTEs. But time is against us here. Come on. Big flush into the close, guys. Big flush. That would be epic. It's been an interesting session. I thought when price action was breaking down earlier, we weren't going to bounce as hard. It was quite a remarkable bounce on the major indices. Let's look at Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft's still holding steady, but it is starting to come in a touch here. Tesla still shaking and moving at the highs of the session. Wow, look at Tesla. A monster. So again, profit target 2. If SPY quickly dips, I'm looking for a target 2 of 602.20 to trim another half of these calls. I'll sell another 5 of them. Yep, I agree. We might see a flush. That's what I'm anticipating here. I am anticipating a flush. Tesla's still remaining exceptionally strong here. We need to see Tesla break this momentum to help with this downside continuation. NVIDIA is starting to break down. We are seeing some weakness creep in. SPY's still just holding this support level like a champ, not wanting to lose 602. Can we get the break? Can we get the break? I'm seeing Apple losing some support here. Microsoft seeing minor distribution. Still up about 13 cents a contract on the remaining runners. Please hit that like button. Here comes the dip. Here comes the dip, guys. Here comes the dip. Let's go. Contracts are back into the 77 cents. Here we go. Lowercase h pattern on SPY. We could be trying to break down here. Let's try to calculate a little bit of a downside target. Could see a flush into 601.78. That's what this little bear flag lowercase h pattern. We're melting, guys. Let's go. Come on. Keep it going. Contracts are printing at 80 cents. I'm looking for 602.20. Next profit target, 602.20, guys. I want more. NVIDIA curling down. Huge spike up on Microsoft. There was a 1 minute spike up on Microsoft. It is getting sold into. Look at that 1 minute candle trying to help the markets. Wow. That's crazy price action on Mr. Softy. NVIDIA curling to the downside. Come on. We're breaking. Target price 2 incoming. I'll be trimming another 5 contracts at 602.20 in and around this vicinity on SPY. Give us a little bit of a low. Come on. Break it down. I want these contracts to double. Can we hit 2 0 DTE bangers today? We've hit over 140% on the trade that we called out earlier on SPY. We could be hitting another one. Mixing coffee with white powder. If that white powder is protein powder, sometimes I do put protein powder in my coffee, blend it all up. All right, guys, here comes SPY. Come on. Microsoft is trying to push up here. Contracts are sitting at 86 cents, but I want more. That's where I took profits last time. Yeah, lowercase h. There no worries, anonymous. And the contracts are 90 cents. Come on. TP price target 2 is incoming, guys. We could get a quick flush. Be ready. I'm trimming. I'm just trimmed another five contracts there, guys. At 99 cents. Boom. Another 5 contracts there at 99 cents. Let's go. Let's get it. Give us another flush. If things get really nasty, so we just made 80% up on the position, 50.9%. And again, the remaining runners, I'm going to move my stop loss now to in the money. I have 5 more contracts running. I'm going to put a stop loss at, let's go 65 cents stop loss. My average is at 55 cents. So again, we've hit price target 1, we've hit price target 2. Now we have some runners with an in the money stop. Let's see if we can get a real flush on SPY. Let's see. Come on. Give us a real flush on SPY. This is a tough support level to break. There's a very, very big level of support here on SPY. Tesla ripping, Microsoft ripping. All right, we might get stopped out in profit, guys. We might get stopped out in profit. Look at the candles on Microsoft and Tesla, new highs. Whoa, these things are beasts. All right, guys, SPY stopped me out in profit there. SPY stopped me out in profit on the remaining 5 contracts. Beautiful little trade. Beautiful little trade. That was nice and clean, guys. A nice, clean 0 DTE. We were able to scale out at 2 price targets. So total, I made 47.27% off of 20 contracts. Beautiful. All right, so we got about 26 minutes. If there's anyone that wants to look at any individual tickers, feel free to put them in the chat box. Tesla's a runaway freight train to the upside, but I am all out of my 0 DTE plays. Closed the trade with a nice amount of profit. All right, let's scan some charts now and see what we can find. SPY is still printing to the downside. Tesla really just wanting to continue to trend here. This is crazy. Crazy strength. What crazy price action on Tesla, man. It almost seems like that was doctored up so that Elon Musk and Trump's inner circle can absolutely buy the dip. And my oh my, has the dip been bought? You know, our 360 calls on Tesla, I was getting worried about those. And they're starting to absolutely turn around in full force. Oh, crazy. This is pushing so much it's going off my screen. Those puts are still printing if anyone's holding some runners. I am not. But if you're still holding runners, those puts are still printing. I'm going to close my 360 calls here. My Tesla 360 calls, I'm pretty much break even, and we took some pretty horrific entries. But I am closing my Tesla 360 calls up here. Just because my strike date is way too close and we got some really bad fills. I still am bullish Tesla, but I'm just doing the proper prudent risk management thing here. I'm closing my Tesla at break even. And I'm going to look to re-enter. So I just officially closed. So again, Tesla's had a phenomenal move. I was riding the 360 July 3rd calls with a pretty horrific average because I got caught in that downdraft. My average was sitting at 1072 on the July 3rd 360 calls. They were pretty expensive. I just closed them at break even, and I'll look to re-enter. Nice job, Sarfraz. What is that, 50% that you got there? Almost 40%? Beautiful. And now we wait. We wait to see what transpires here. All right, let's flip back to Micron. That one we're still short with put options. Any tickers anyone wants to look at? Let's scroll through some charts here on my other screen just to see what's transpiring. SPY definitely curling to the downside, seeing some additional weakness. Definitely seeing some additional weakness. Microsoft starting to come in a touch here. Whoa, big drop on SPY. Oh my. Damn. Sarfraz, you held out. We didn't hold it long enough. Oh my goodness, that was a banger. I wish I still had some runners on that trade. Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. What did those puts end up going to? I got filled at 55 cents off of that drop. Oh my goodness. $1.40. What is that? $1.48? Oh my God. From 55 cents to $1.48 had I held through that low boundary wick. That's crazy, guys. All brought to you here live on the stream. Sarfers called out a risky Lotto 601 put. My oh my. That was epic for sure. All right, let's scan through some charts really quickly. We'll look at some daily chart setups. What do I want to look at? Should we look at some semiconductors? What do you guys want to look at? We'll keep SPY on watch here. There is a bit of a bounce trade if SPY flushes into 601.24. Let's look at some of these high short interest names. Rumble got reversed. UPST still breaking out and holding bullish structure. Riley, Trupanion, that's a beast. Clearing a high pivot zone. Shorts are going to cover on this name. Novax, nothing there. Saba, nothing there. AI, under a bit of pressure today. Carvana, still holding near the highs, under a bit of pressure. LMND, that's another name that just continues its daily charge to the upside. IONQ reversing from the highs. We took a nice amount of profits off of that name. Look at the dump on Tesla. We just took our break even on Tesla, and this is one of the reasons why. When something goes up too quickly, you often get those intraday reversals. Take a look at that beautiful little parallel channel that Tesla pretty much tagged from a high. It's just melting here, guys. That's probably the dip in SPY. I didn't even realize. Jeez, that's pretty crazy. So again, I do like Tesla. Obviously, it's always a risk when you're buying into a news event. Is the robotaxi launch on the 12th going to flop? Or is it going to have success? Is Trump going to have problems with Elon again? I think that kind of dynamic is really behind us, as he did say yesterday at America's Investor Conference or Roundtable, that he doesn't have a problem with Elon. But you just never know if people are going to turn the event into buy the rumor, sell the news. So I'm going to look for a deeper pullback. Anonymous looking at CoreWeave. You know, this is a tough one. CoreWeave is a monster. We banked on CoreWeave off of this first initial short. So I remember we entered here at 164.47. We took some close stated puts and banked over 100% on that trade. So I'm still holding a little bit exposure into the July contract, but it's one of those things that that I think it's going to make another liquidity high sweep. So I'd wait for CoreWeave to pierce these highs, and then that's probably, we need to see another blow-off move. It's extended nonetheless. If you buy farther dated put options, like definitely you're probably going to get them in the money, but that first initial test of Fibonacci zone, it's going to get a high pivot liquidity squeak. I'm going to look for another little short squeeze event, maybe into the 170s, and then a continuation short. I still think it comes down, but we just need to see a little bit more of a volume up here. Edward, how do you see Palantir? So we were bullish Palantir, Edward. We bought Palantir around this 122.21 level. We entered it via call options. We did the, I can't remember the strike zone, I have to look, but we did the 127 calls and we sold them in profit. We executed a beautiful bullish trade. I basically sold it when we recaptured and tested that 7-day moving average. Had I held, yes, I would have made more money, but Palantir's into a ton of resistance here. I think Palantir is another name that is potentially in a distribution phase. A lot of resistance up in this vicinity. You do have a negative divergence on the weekly, a bearish divergence on the daily. Maybe Palantir, same thing, makes one more little high pivot liquidity sweep. So if Palantir sweeps this 135 high, pierces maybe to, let's see this actually. This is where I'd look for. Let's actually draw a little channel here, because this is a name that we can trade again on the short side. So there's a couple interesting areas I'm looking at. So that would be your max move on Palantir, I think, in the near term to about 145, 146. But where I think Palantir's arguably going to go maybe about 136, 136 pierce, 137. So I would consider shorting PLTR again around 137 with some put options. I want to see it sweep this high pivot liquidity. Okay? But I can't chase it on the long side just yet. Manatee Orange asking about, what are you asking about? Nat gas. Sorry, I lost my comment there for a second. Natural gas in for some trouble. Nat gas is struggling immensely here. It failed at this bullish level. We were short. We got stopped out of KOLD. Probably should have held that a little bit more. At this point in time, Nat gas is going to come and test this range, likely fill the gap. If you break this wedge pattern to the downside, Nat gas is heading to $3. Surfer is saying he's taking a, and Paul, you're out of Xena. Nice little trade there on Xena, Paul. Is that what you entered? Yep. You bought Xena and entered. So hopefully that nat gas analysis helps. It is bleeding bearish now. All right, GME. Sarfers, what are you entering here? You're entering a GME trade, eh? Good job, Paul. $34 call June 13th, GME. Oof, what are those priced at? You really think there's going to be a big move on GME, eh? GME. What are those priced at right now? What percentage move is that? Back to 34? Holy, you're looking at a 12% move? Looks like nice, but you're such a close strike. You're looking at end of the week. Holy, that's a bullish bet. Those are probably worth nothing right now. June 13th, $34 call on GME right now is worth 75 cents, eh? 75 cents. Ugh. 75 cents. I mean, I can see the level that you're back testing. This is a nice true back test of the 7 and 20 moving average. It is a nice consolidation zone, Sarfraz. You're looking like you're trying to get a bullish. Oh yeah, there's earnings. Ah, that's why. I was wondering why. Okay. That makes more sense. Thought you had some insider information. Okay, so GME earnings after the bell. Sarfraz is taking a $34 call into that play. Now I see. Yeah, okay. So I mean that could easily hit 34 bucks. You could easily sweep the high of 35, 35.90 here. Let's see what else we got. It's a risky bet for sure. It's definitely a risky bet. If GME misses, let's see where it's going. There's some support at 28, 26. Well, good luck, Sarfraz. Don't blow the portfolio. Hopefully that works out for you. If it doesn't, then, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. May the odds be in your favor. I'd love to trade this tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of volume. You know, let's see what else we got here. ENVX, that's looking decent. Just 3 lotto contracts. Yeah. Look at plug power reversal. Wow. Tapping that 154 and seeing sell side pressure. Maria's looking at GTLB earnings. Yep. Definitely looking at earnings there. This chart looks also very bullish. Nice little daily chart bull flag right on that 7-day moving average. The only problem is you're still stuck in a bit of a wedge pattern here. Trying to hold this breakout zone. This stock could absolutely fly as well. The only thing I don't like is you had a bit of a failed breakout on the daily of this inverse. Coming back around from a higher low. What do I got? A lot of work on this chart here. A couple insiders selling. Interesting. What time is GME reporting? Let's see. Are they right after the bell? 4 o'clock? We'll stay on for the GME reaction. Got Dave & Buster's. What else we got? Yep. GTLB. Stingray. Stitch Fix. Interesting. Well, overall, it's been a very successful trading session here for us. Couple nice bangers. Oh, John C. I didn't see that. Nike, NKE. Yeah, Nike's a strong chart. Definitely a strong chart. Let's see this parallel channel where it takes us into. So Nike is looking like it's breaking out of a bull flag. Very strong price action. It does look good. for Nike. Obviously, earnings is set to arrive on June 26th. So maybe Nike has a continuation push into its earnings. But you'll have some resistance here around 65.60. But it does look like a nice potential for a continuation move higher. Definitely. It's risky holding it into earnings. But you are getting some buyers down here. And the only reason I say it's risky too, I mean, you look at Lulu, right, on earnings. Lulu had that massive, massive gap down. Still being sold into today. I'd love to see Lulu hit into this gap where I'd consider going long. Huge bounce into the end of the day for SPY. Very big bounce for SPY. Let's look at DJT. That one's coming down. KSS. So Kohl's, that's curling to the high side. Another high short interest name. Children's Place just getting demolished. PLCE, new lows. Wow. The bottom of this thing is going to fall out. So there could be a big setup on PLCE tomorrow. Let's say this gap's down tomorrow. That could be a nice 3-bar surge on the daily with a day tradable bounce on the long side. See ticker Wolf, that's trying to firm a bottom. MPW, trying. Let's look at some of these semiconductors. So AMD continues to fight. Intel obviously breaking out here, reversing off of a bad potential daily chart pattern. AVGO seems to be finding a bottom here. SPY is just ripping. Look at these plays. If we took a 0 DTE play over the last few minutes, SPY just absolutely ripped face. Where did the buying pressure come from? Not Apple, not Tesla. Microsoft is firming. NVDA trying. Meta. Google. But SPY just absolutely ripped there. SMH still into a ton of resistance. SMH did fill its daily chart. Gap filled today. So a lot of resistance there for SMH. But SMH is on watch for, look at this daily chart breakout on SMH. Pivot high all the way back from 2024, pivot high. So now you're looking for a confirmed candle. So again, maybe they want to gap the markets up tomorrow and see an intraday reversal to retest this little breakout zone, but SMH breaking out in full force. You can easily argue that SMH has triggered an inverse head and shoulders here, just like the main indices. It's very, very bullish. I mean, the next 6 months, based off of this price pattern alone, suggests a crazy, crazy move in semiconductors. We're talking about a major leg higher on SMH to about 325 over the next 6 to 12 months. If this pattern holds. Look at this SPY move. I mean, my oh my. What crazy price action. Look at that move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. You went from a low of 601 all the way back to 603. That's crazy. That's even better than the drop that we had. Anyways, so SMH and semis are still looking very strong. But remember, market makers love to do these peekaboo breakouts. And then they like to try to trap that liquidity and sell into it. Thanks, Spart. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll stream the GME earnings here, at least the reaction, to see what transpires, since a few of you are holding some call options. Let's go to the after hours session here for GME. But it's been a very, very good session here for us. Very good session here for us. We'll put GME on this screen over here, just so I can keep scanning some charts. If there's any final charts, we can discuss some swing trades. Feel free to put your ticker in. All right, GME is getting some volume here, guys. GME is starting to perk back up. So GME closed at 30.16. Let's see what happens here. All right, let's keep going through some charts. Part of our daily analysis, you know, one name that's strong is Taiwan Semi. Huge push on Taiwan Semi. I was a little disappointed in SMCI today. Considering the semis were so strong, SMCI kind of lagged a bit. I guess it kind of got sold into along with the names like QBTS, RGTI. But I still like SMCI. Chart still looks good. Micron is into a world of resistance. 79 daily RSI. Huge divergence on the hourly chart of Micron. This is one that I think is going to be an A+ short tomorrow on the day trade side if we see it push up again. I like Okta OKTA on the long side if we flush into this 95 zone. That looks like it's going to trickle a little bit lower. Ambarella AMBA. And what I'm going to highly encourage people to do is make a short list for semiconductors. Find your top longs, because if we get a dip in semis, that dip is going to be bought ferociously. And I do think that there can be a strong case for a minor dip in the SMH and the SOX. You know, I could easily see the SMH dipping back to the 7-day moving average, which would be a very healthy dip. It would only be about a 3.5% dip to the downside. And that would be bought up in full force, I think. So we still hold a lot of long exposure in the market, but definitely pared back some of our positions with this recent rally. Qualcomm breaking out on the daily. It just confirmed the breakout today. That's a very strong chart. All the semis are just flying. Look at this LRCX. This is potentially another short trade tomorrow. If we get a high pivot liquidity sweep of this recent high pivot. So if we sweep that high pivot, that is definitely a short on LRCX tomorrow. So keep that ticker on watch. Yeah, look at that little trend line. So we sweep that high pivot. That's a perfect little setup. Right into, say, 93 bucks. Bart saying from the Super Stonk community. First quarter overview. Net sales were 732.4 million compared to 881 million in the prior first quarter. Selling general expenses were 228 million, blah, blah, blah. Operating loss was 10.8 million for the period compared to an operating loss of 50.6 million in the prior first year quarter. First quarter operating loss includes 35.5 million of impairment charges related to international restructuring efforts. Excluding the impairment charges and other items, adjusted operating income was 27.5 million for the period compared to an adjusted operating loss of 55 million in prior year first quarter. Net income was 44.8 million for the period compared to a net loss of 32.3 million for the prior year's first quarter. Excluding the impairment charges and other items, adjusted net income was 83.1 million for the period. Billy saying 10 EPS, 10 earnings per share. Cash and cash equivalents were about 6.4 billion at the close of the first quarter, compared to 1 billion. Okay, so far really no reaction. Really no reaction. But I appreciate those numbers, guys. Let's look at GTLB to see if that one perked up. That one's actually falling. GTLB getting decimated. Boom. So far, let's see if we can get a trade on this name. Down a few percentage points. Let's just isolate some of these key gap fills. 41.50. 17, Billy. Thank you, Billy. No problem. GTLB getting absolutely dusted here, guys. We might have a long scalp on GTLB. It's risky. It's risky. There might be a day tradable bounce pretty much right here, actually. Would be your first little level. Whoops. GME is still struggling. Yeah, that was your first little buy zone on GTLB, retracing a little breakout zone of this previous inverse head and shoulders. So that's your neckline. You've back tested. That's your little buy zone, but I'm not going to trade it. I'm done for the day. We are seeing GME come down slightly here in the after hours. I mean, I would maybe consider a long on GME if we really flushed. Let's see a daily chart level. Really your first Fibonacci level. A pierce of that gets me intrigued. If we flushed into, what would that be, a downside move? From the close, still very, very light for GME. I would consider a long scalp on GME if we got a really big flush. Aggressive traders can buy at the $28 level. I'm not really trying to trade it, but if it flushed all the way to $26.58, then I would seize that opportunity. But I think I'm going to wrap up the stream here, guys. It's been a pleasure trading with you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Great call out today from the community in the Telegram groups and on YouTube. Nice to know that we printed two massive 0 DTE trades. We took a couple over 100% trades on a couple swing trades that went over 100%. We took a nice 0 DTE play that went over 100%. So it's been a very successful trading day today. A few $1,000s in the pocket for myself on the trading session. The only trade that we did lose today was QBTS. So again, I like to identify those losers because that's how we learn. We aggressively went for the prior day low buy. It violated that low. We did stop out just below that area and it proved to be a good stop loss. So it's hard to stop out of trades. It's one of the most difficult things as a trader, admitting when we're wrong, but nevertheless, it is bound to happen. The more time you spend in the market, you cannot be right all the time. So congrats if you were able to catch a lot of the winners with us. This was a very small position in the grand scheme of things. It was about a $330 loss for myself. Again, I identified a very light position at the start of the trade, but nevertheless, this one is on watch for. If we get another continuation leg to the downside for QBTS, I would consider going along again off of this name. Other than that, thank you all. We'll see you on the charts tomorrow. Definitely tune into the live stream in the morning session. Take care.